Hello friends, I'm just going to give everybody a minute to hop on. Hello, good evening everyone. So good to see everybody. I see people getting on. Happy Thursday. Hello Chris, thank you so much for joining me. Paul and Tammy, thank you for getting on. Hello Miss Jessica, good to see you. Lilia, thank you for being a top fan. I appreciate it. Hi, Crystal. Thank you so much for hopping on, everybody. I always know you guys are busy. You guys have kids to take care of and laundry to do and kitchens to clean and grandkids probably to chase around the house, and you're hopping on and spending your time with me. And I really appreciate it because I know that your time is valuable. So thank you so much for taking the time to join me this evening. I'm just going to start out by saying that I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. It was a little bit of a weird Christmas for me this year. I have actually been recovering from a surgery that I had a couple weeks before Christmas. And so during the time that most people are shopping, I was sitting around in bed healing. And so I didn't get all of the Christmas shopping. I think my kids this year were like, really, Mom? But hey, you know what? Mom couldn't walk for a while, so this is what we're getting this year. So we do the best we can, right? Life happens and we do the best we can. 2020, new year, lots of changes in my life. I'm sure many of you are having lots of changes in your life right now too. I'm excited for 2020 and what's coming in this next year. And I'm hoping that we're gonna have some answers in some of our cases in 2020. Wouldn't that be amazing? If we can have some resolution and find some answers for some of these families. So thank you so much, all of you, for hopping on. I so appreciate all of you that tune in and watch my lives. I'm a bit amateur, but I do the best I can. I have notes written to try to remember things, and I just sort of wing it a little bit. So that's sort of my natural style. To all of you that have been following me for a while, yes, I have my eyelashes on, okay? For those of you that haven't followed me long, I one evening was doing a live and had a woman go crazy about the fact that she thought I was wearing fake eyelashes, which I am, and it just drove her crazy. And so ever since then, I always like to point out that yes, I am wearing the fake lashes. So the haters are gonna hate, right? You know how it is. The haters are gonna hate. Hello, Lori and Nathan. Thank you for hopping on. So guys, tonight I have 3 cases that we're gonna be talking about. 2 are ones that we've been following for a while, and then we are going to be adding in a new case tonight because I was contacted by some family members that asked me to take a look into this case a little bit and to ask some questions. So I'm gonna be doing that and helping them in any way that I can. So I'd like to start tonight with that case, the case of Selena Not Afraid. Selena disappeared, 16 years old, from Hardin, Montana, and she disappeared on New Year's Eve. And so I spent some time talking to some of her family members. They're very concerned about her. 16 years old, guys, 16. Life is just beginning when you're 16. She was traveling in a vehicle with a group of friends. I did find out today, interestingly enough, I was unaware of this, that they were all adult friends. So despite the fact that Selena was 16, she was the only minor that was in this group of people that was traveling. Evidently, there was some type of car trouble that happened, so they pulled over. It was called the Fly Creek Rest Stop. And they got out of the car, and the person who was driving the car left Selena and 2 of her friends at this rest stop. And so later in the evening, there was a grandmother that returned to this rest stop to pick up the girls. This grandmother had been made aware that these girls were waiting at this rest stop and had been left here. When the grandmother returned, there were only 2 girls there, and Selena was missing and not seen again. So tragic. This family is, of course, searching for answers. You know, lots of pain and unanswered questions. It also sounds like lots of stories. I had told to me that part of the problem has been that the people that were traveling in this car and some of the people that were part of this evening have not exactly been consistent in their story, exactly what happened, exactly why the girls were left, exactly who was there. And so there's been some difficulty for this family just to get to the bottom of what's happening and to get the same story, which of course always makes people wonder exactly what did happen to Selena. I did ask some questions about her. Her family says, nice girl, sweet girl, had never run away, had never been in trouble, and not the type of girl that you would expect to disappear. Her family described her as always laughing, very outgoing, happy girl, happy heart, that she was looking forward to graduating from high school, had aspirations to go to college. And so this is a young woman that was on the right track in her life and has a bright future. And so I'm praying for her safe return and that the family gets some answers soon. I would sure appreciate if all of you would share Selena's story. I do have in a previous post, one of her missing posters. If you could get on that previous post and please share that. I would sure appreciate that. Anything we can do. The family has also started a GoFundMe account to try to raise money and is in desperate need of trying to pull together some resources to help in searches for Selena. And so please get together. For those of you that are Montanans and people in the area, please volunteer to search. Please volunteer to help in any way you can. There was about a 2-hour window from the time that Selena went missing until law enforcement was looking for her. And it was cold. It was in the 20s. She did not have a heavy jacket on. She had a light jacket on, was dressed sort of like 16-year-olds do, even on cold nights. They never want to wear winter jackets. And so if she did walk away and start walking, as was reported, it wouldn't have been a good thing. And so we have to hope that maybe she was maybe even picked up by someone that did not do anything bad to her and took her to another location, or that she's gone to another location and that she is found safe. So please keep your eyes and ears open for Selena, not afraid. I will continue to follow her story. This is a part of what's referred to as the Murdered Missing Indigenous Women Act. You probably saw Trump has been working on this and has signed something as a state senator. This is something that I'd worked on. We have a disproportionate number of Native American women missing, and Selena has been identified by the MMIW movement to really look at her case and get involved in that. So thank you to all of you for taking the time to take a look for her. Next, I want to talk about our little Miss Serenity Dennard. You guys, it's been so long, so long. You know, I hear people talking about the Super Bowl coming up, and for me, I will always, for the rest of my life, equate Serenity Dennard with the Super Bowl. It was Super Bowl Sunday that she disappeared, February 3rd. And so here we are, people are getting excited about a new Super Bowl. That means to me that Serenity's been missing a year. I cannot believe it. I never would have dreamed when I started talking about her story that Serenity, a year later, we would still not have answers. I'm just absolutely blown away that here we are 1 year later and we do not know. So for people that are asking about is anything happening, the answer is yes. Actually, they are continuing to drone search. The Sheriff's Department is. I'm hearing it's sort of sporadic. It's not necessarily being done every day, but they are doing some drone searches. I sure appreciate that the Sheriff's Department is continuing to do that. But nothing. The same thing that's been found, nothing for all of this time. So how does a 10-year-old little girl disappear into thin air? That's the question we've all been asking since Super Bowl Sunday of last year. But there is some good news. I hold out hope. I hold out so much hope that Serenity will be found alive. Like all these cases, like Selena, please let these people be found alive. Just recently, interestingly enough, there was a sighting of Serenity in Washington State. Now, the reason that's significant is because of the fact that there does seem to be a bit of a pattern. There have been other reports over the last 6 months of Serenity being seen in Washington State. Is it a coincidence? We don't know. But it is considered by our sheriff's department and by the law enforcement to be a credible report. So much so that they have currently requested and are waiting for surveillance cameras in Washington that have spotted this little girl on camera. And they are planning to review these surveillance videos. I've been told that they are coming any day, and that once they have them, they will be reviewing them to see, in fact, if it is Serenity's face on these surveillance cameras. Evidently, this blonde child who looked similar to Serenity was seen on surveillance tapes. And the great news is they appear to not be missing, and the cameras appear to be working, unlike the place that she disappeared from. And so, wow. If you live in Washington State, tune in, guys. And I know I have Washington people that watch me. Serenity has been spotted there a number of times by people. There has been more than one report there. Do we know if it's her? No, we do not. These surveillance videos that are being sent to be reviewed have been considered significant enough to be requested and looked at. I am very hopeful that this could be a break in the case and that we could, almost 1 year later, see a little Serenity walking possibly with someone in Washington State. How she got there, what the circumstances are, we do not know. But the reality is that this should give us all hope. And wouldn't that be an amazing, amazing outcome for Serenity to be found? So please, to my Washington people, keep your eyes and ears open. There is a bit of a pattern that's been forming in Washington. We've had other reports of her being seen there, and so this could be the break that we've been waiting for. I will keep you all posted once those surveillance videos are brought, reviewed, and let you know what is seen on them. And let's just keep our fingers crossed, guys, right? Fingers crossed. Amazing. It would be an amazing thing. So, yay, I see so many people saying that's great, praying for Serenity, love it, love it, love it. So yes, wonderful news. I do also want to just really quickly, I forgot something I meant to do here. I wanted to very quickly, for those of you that hopped on late, I apologize, I'm going to kind of circle back here for a second. I did want to show a picture of Selena. So Selena, whoops, going the wrong way. Selena Not Afraid, the first young woman that I talked about. I wanted to make sure her picture gets shown, as well as Serenity's picture. Again, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so these are the people that I'm talking about. Somebody's family, guys. Remember that. Somebody's daughter. Okay, so let's hop over to, just in closing, sorry, my brain is, in closing, as far as Serenity's case is concerned, I do want you to know that I am continuing to stay in touch with the family members that speak to me at least, and am checking in frequently for updates and for information. And so guys, even though it has been almost a year, and even though we have not talked about Serenity lately, and it's been a while since I've done a live, I just want you to know that I am plugged in, I'm staying plugged in, I'm staying on top of things, I'm watching for anything, and my interest has not waned. A little bit because of a surgery that I've been recovering from. It did kind of affect my ability to do lives, but I'm back. And I hope to be doing them again more frequently. So I apologize for the delay, but please know that that does not express any interest in my lack of caring about the case. I am still as concerned about Serenity as I've been since the day that little girl disappeared. So let's talk a little bit about Chance Engelbert. I'll pop up a picture of Chance for those of you that have not maybe seen a picture of him. 25-year-old Chance Engelbert, missing since July 6th from Gering, Nebraska. Was he from Gering, Nebraska? No, he's from Moorcroft, Wyoming. He was visiting family of his wife's Bailey's family that lives in Gering, Nebraska. As many of you know, he was there for the 4th of July and basically spending time with his in-laws when he was there. What the exact circumstances are of his disappearance, there are a lot of questions and concerns about. There has been different conflicting information. Interestingly enough, one of the key points that has been in the media over and over again has been that he walked away because there was a disagreement with his wife Bailey. When I was doing one of my last lives, Bailey was on the live. Bailey's probably on the live now. Hello, Bailey. And she disputed that there was not, in fact, a disagreement or an argument. And so I will just say that in a number of media reports, when asked, the family reported that there was a disagreement or some type of an argument that is the reason that Chance walked away. So now there's some reports by Bailey that there wasn't an argument. So you can take that for what it is. Whether there was an argument, wasn't an argument, for some reason, he decided he wanted to leave quickly on his own, walking away. And so he did. And he really has not been seen since, except on some surveillance cameras. As many of you know, he reached out to a number of people trying to find a ride and was not able to find one. Thank God, though, for Chance Engelbert that his best friend, Matt, is the best friend that we should all hope we have. I don't know if I have a friend like Matt. I'm telling you, Matt, will you be my friend? Because Matt is a rock star and has not let this drop. He has said over and over again, I'm coming for you, buddy. I'm coming for you, buddy. That touches my heart when he says that about his friend, because it's just two guys that are just buds, just friends, right? And a couple of country boys that have drank beer together that are ride hard or die friends. And that's an awesome thing. And that's what Matt's been. And so what has Matt been doing in his sort of searches? He's created his own group. He's created his own searches, which I think is amazing. I talked to Matt, and Matt has said that they are continuing to do drone searches. He also talked about the fact that they are doing what is referred to as river drone searches. The way he explained this to me is this is literally a drone that flies over the river that can see all the way down to the floor of the river, which is amazing. And so obviously they're looking for anything that they can find, any trace of him, any evidence that would say that he has been in that river, clothing, anything like that. So far, the drones, the flying drones, the river drones have found nothing. Of course, there's many theories floating around why, but what I will say is that Matt is not going to give up. And Matt, I know you're watching. We all appreciate you so much for your determination and all that you've done to even raise money to buy equipment. This man has raised money to buy the proper equipment, which is just so incredible. Another thing that I do want to touch on, because it's been brought up over and over again, there is evidently a lime pit, lime, L-I-M-E, a lime pit near where Chance disappeared from. And so today when I was chatting with Matt, he did assure me that him and his searchers have searched the lime pit, because many people have been pointing towards that area. I believe there's been some psychics that have identified it. There's been people in the area that have said someone needs to check the lime pit. He says it has been checked. And so to those of you that have been concerned about that, I wanted to relay that to you. I also talked to him a little bit because they are searching fairly regularly. I said, Matt, when you're out searching, what are you seeing for law enforcement? What are you seeing? Are you seeing trucks? Are you seeing law enforcement walking around? Are you seeing dogs? And he said, I've seen nothing. Not a truck, not a dog, not a person, nothing. In any of the areas that he disappeared from have we seen anything. And so if you ask law enforcement if they are searching, they say, yes, they are searching. But we don't have anyone that's seen them searching, and so maybe they're wearing invisible cloaks. Remember the invisible cloaks from Harry Potter? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're very, I don't know. But no one has seen them. And so they're doing it very mysteriously, I guess. So, but Matt, thank you again for all you're doing. We see you, and we appreciate everything that you're doing. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit. I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit, just because my page is called Lynne Seeks Truth. And I say, what is the truth? You decide. That's one of my things. You decide. This is what I believe is truth. I try to report what I believe is truth. I try to validate things that I believe are true. But the reality is that I was not there, nor were most of you probably. And you have to decide what truth is. But there is, as you know, some controversy, a little bit of stress that's occurred between the families, between Bailey's family and Chance's family. There was evidently some strained relations long before Chance disappeared amongst the family, the families. It was reported that Bailey had not wanted Chance's family at their wedding. If that is in fact true, I think that indicates that there were some pretty serious problems in advance. And so clearly a little strain. But interestingly enough, recently, Bailey's mom actually got a hold of Matt and asked Matt if he would be willing to provide the updated poster and get her things that she can hang and things like that, which is really great. And I'm sure everyone appreciates Bailey's mom doing that. And so of course Matt said yes, and he reiterated to Bailey's mom, look, we should be working together, we should be unified, let's put any bad blood that there has been behind, and move together. We're stronger united, right? And she agreed, is what he conveyed to me, that she agreed with that should be the case. And he said, great, I will send you over missing posters and everything you need so you can hang them up. But I would really appreciate, now that we're working together, if you would allow us to search your properties. The second he said that, he was blocked. Beep, blocked immediately. He said that he could not even get to a secondary, can we talk about it, or can we say where, or anything like that, that it was literally, could we search you, we'll get you posters, we'll get you need, could we come to your property, and boom, all of a sudden he could no longer reply to the message or respond, and so he has been blocked since. I appreciate you, Matt, trying to reach out to the family like that, or trying to kind of make amends like that. But clearly there's still some resistance in the family for a reason. So that's what is going on. Moving ahead though, something kind of exciting. They've got a couple things that I think are great that are happening in this case that show me there's progress. And there's progress because we're not going to let it go. You're not going to let it go. I'm not going to let it go. We will keep the pressure up. Is that law enforcement actually has been working on getting more pings, what's referred to as pings. So when you're on your cell phone, right, you are pinging off things that says where you are, right? So you always see that on Dateline and stuff like that. Like, how do people get caught? Well, they say that they're in this town, but then they say, really, where your phone was pinging in this town over here. So basically what they've been doing is they've been obtaining on Chance the pings identifying where he is. And so just recently, Matt has had conveyed to him, as well as some of the other searchers that are working on this case, that there will be additional pings that they will be provided, which will give a better and clearer image of where Chance was walking, because those pings say he was here, he was here, he was here, as his cell phone is pinging off of things. And so that is great news, and really just helps to keep them focused, because some of the question has been, well, what direction did he go? Where did he walk? How do we know for sure? Those pings are like a trail following you wherever you go. So if you want to not be found, make sure you shut your cell phone off, right? That's one thing you learn, because your cell phone is tracking you and is pinging off of things. And so that is great news. The other thing that has happened that I think is really huge, and I think is great, I appreciate that law enforcement has actually allowed this, is that Matt and some of the people that Matt have been working with on his team, including his amazing wife, Tanya actually were given the opportunity to read through all of the text messages that were going in and out of Chance's phone on the day that he disappeared. And I think that's wonderful, because there's been a lot of speculation about what was said in those text messages. And I believe that Matt has a true and pure heart on this deal. I believe he has nothing to gain except to find his best buddy. And so that gives me great confidence that law enforcement allowed Matt to look through those exchanges. When I asked him about the exchanges and I really said, what did you see? He said, look, there wasn't much going out from Chance, but there was quite a bit coming in from people. But he said the outgoing messages from Chance really were quite simple. I'm looking for a ride, I need picked up, and things along that nature. But he said there was really not that much going out, but quite a bit coming in, including some messages from Bailey. Even days after he disappeared, there were messages from Bailey coming in saying, we're looking for you, please, we miss you, and those kinds of things, even after some time had passed. And so, and in addition to that, they were given the opportunity to watch all of the videos of Chance walking. Now, in today's technology, I talked about the phone pings. The other thing that we have that is a blessing and a curse is the fact that there are so many cameras on so many places, right? You have gas stations, you have people with doorbell cameras, you have all of these things that have cameras that track people when they're out and about. And so Chance was spotted multiple times walking, heading away. So Matt, for the first time, got a chance to sit and watch every single one of those videos in continuity and just sit and watch him. And kind of, again, it's tracking where he's going. He's turning a corner. He's here, he's there. Some of them are very far away, but you can see him walking. And what Matt said, that he said that no one else had identified, is in many of the videos, he said, it's not how Chance walks. He's not walking right. Now, all I can say is, as a friend, we all know kind of our friends, what you might refer to as gait, or their walk, the way they walk, right? We kind of walk differently. Some people walk with confidence, some people walk less, some people slouch, some people walk slow, some people walk fast, some people have more bounce, but we all have a different way we walk. Well, what Matt said is, when I watched the videos, there was something about the way he was walking that was unusual. And I said, what do you mean? Something about the way he's walking that's unusual. He said, his legs, they weren't moving right. And I said, okay, like he was drunk? I mean, right, like he's, and he says, no, not like he was drunk. He said, it just was unusual. And he said, not only that, he was stumbling a number of times, and he would kind of walk in a strange way and then stumble to the ground, and then he would get up, and then he would walk again, and then he would kind of stumble, and he'd maybe kind of almost fall, but not, and then he'd kind of, and he said it was like his legs weren't working right. But he said it didn't look like he was drunk. It was just like something was off in the walk. And he said that's not how he walks. And so I find that interesting, and I have been speculating, what does that mean? And, you know, I've had a number of things cross my mind. Of course, the first thing when he said it to me was that he must be drunk, right? Because, you know, we stumble when we're drinking. And Matt kept saying, no, it was the way he was walking. It wasn't his whole body like he was flailing. It was that he almost looked like he was having trouble controlling his legs while he was walking. Okay. Then that makes me think something like, is there a medical condition? Is there some type of another drug or something he's been given or taken that is causing him to actually have difficulty walking, in that he's stumbling a little and walking in a way that's different? It just really seems very strange. And so, and Matt said that when he said that to law enforcement, they kind of went, really? That's not how he walks? And he said, no. And so he said that this is something that he identified as his best friend, that something's off in the way he's walking in the videos, that law enforcement said that they did not recognize themselves because, of course, they've never met him. They've never seen him walk. They don't know how he walks. They don't know his way. But Matt said, different. Something is different. Something was affecting his walk that day. And so I'm going to plant this seed for all of you. But what's most important is that you all are sharing his story and that you all are paying attention and that you all are looking. I asked, how is Chance's family? How are mom and dad? And the answer, of course, is not good. Not good. They're tortured. The families of these missing people are tortured. Selena's family, Selena Not Afraid's family, they're tortured. Serenity's family, almost a year, they're tortured. They lay in bed at night and they wonder if their loved one is dead or alive. They wonder if they're in pain. They wonder if they're lost. They wonder if someone is holding them against their will. Your imagination, when you don't know, is constantly running with all of these ideas and all of these fears. What I'm going to ask all of you is, in the year 2020, here we are, a new year, I've always been a big believer in the power of one person. What can one person do? People say, what can one person do, right? Like that. I say, what can one person do? One person can do a lot. One person can do so much. And so to all of you that are watching, what can you do in 2020? You can help be the voices of these missing people. You can follow this page and share these stories. You can share the missing posters. You can watch for them. People in Washington State, watch for Serenity. People throughout South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Selena's face, share it. Please get it out there. Please continue to share. And for Chance, for those of you that are in the area of Gearing and Wyoming, Nebraska and Wyoming, please continue to share his story. I just spotted that someone said that there is a psychic that reported there was something wrong with Chance's legs. Isn't that interesting? I always tell people, I don't know if I put a lot of stock in psychics. I'm a bit of a skeptic, to be completely honest. But that is a little weird. So thank you for sharing that. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. I just want to thank you all for following me. I will be back doing more lives. If you have a tip, if you know something, you can come and share it to me anonymously. I have people call me all the time and say, I want to tell you something. You can message me, but I need it shared anonymously. If you ask it to be shared anonymously, it will be kept anonymous. I will relay anything to law enforcement that needs to be shared, but please reach out if you have information, and I will continue to work hard to be a voice for these people. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I appreciate all of you so much. So here's to a great 2020, and let's pray for happy outcomes for all of these families. Thank you and have a good night.